Have you ever asked yourself, when is it enough? In the whirlwind of our modern world, we are constantly propelled to seek more. More money, more status, more possessions, more experiences. We are told that more is better, that more is necessary for happiness. Our society is set up in such a way that it constantly pushes us to strive for more, creating an endless cycle of want and need. Consumerism has become the norm, the driving force behind our actions and decisions. We're encouraged to buy the latest gadget, to update our wardrobes with the current fashion trends, to upgrade to the newest car model. The value of our lives is often measured by the amount of our possessions, by the status we have acquired, by the wealth we have amassed. But what if we told you that this constant pursuit of more is not only unnecessary but also detrimental? That this relentless striving for more is not leading to happiness but to imbalance and dissatisfaction? Our perception of enough has been distorted. It's been skewed by societal pressures and consumerism, leading us to believe that we always need more. The concept of enough has become elusive, almost unattainable. We're in a race for more, and in this race, we've lost sight of what enough truly means. We've become so focused on the pursuit of more that we've forgotten that our happiness and fulfillment don't come from the amount of our possessions or the status we've acquired. It comes from within, from our relationships, from our experiences, from our sense of purpose. So let's pause for a moment. Let's step back from this race and ask ourselves, when is it enough? When do we stop this relentless pursuit of more and start appreciating what we already have? In the race for more, have we lost sight of what truly matters? Let's explore this further in the next scenes as we delve into the wisdom of the Tao and how it can guide us towards a more balanced and fulfilling way of living. Now, imagine a different perspective, one that hails from ancient China, the Tao. The Tao, or the Way, is an ancient philosophy that embraces the natural flow of life. It emphasizes balance, harmony, and the wisdom of knowing when to stop. One of the most profound teachings of the Tao comes from the 9th verse of the Tao Te Ching, a text written by the sage Lao Tzu. The verse advises us against accumulating excessive wealth, warning that holding a cup that is overflowing is not as good as stopping in time. Here, the cup serves as a metaphor for our lives. When we constantly seek more wealth, more status, more possessions, our cup overflows, leading to imbalance and dissatisfaction. In contrast, the Tao encourages us to find satisfaction at a level that promotes humility. It teaches us to recognize that enough is not about reaching a certain point or accumulating a certain amount of wealth. Instead, it's about finding a state of balance, where we have what we need and nothing more. The Tao's wisdom lies in its understanding of the natural world, where everything is created in balanced amounts. A tree, for example, grows to a certain height and then stops. It doesn't strive to be the tallest or the biggest. It simply grows until it is enough, and then it ceases. This is the wisdom that Lao Tzu encourages us to embrace. To do our work, then step back. To find satisfaction in what we have, instead of constantly craving more. To understand that overindulgence, whether in food or material success, leads to imbalance. In many ways, the Tao's teachings are a call to return to nature, to align ourselves with the natural rhythms of life. They remind us that in the grand tapestry of existence, we are but a single thread. And like that thread, our role is not to stand out, but to contribute to the overall pattern. In the eyes of the Tao, enough is not a destination but a state of being. The Tao's teachings and our modern society seem to be at odds. Let's delve deeper into this contrast. The Tao, as described in the Tao Te Ching, champions a lifestyle of enough, promoting balance and humility. It's a philosophy that knows when to stop, understanding that too much of anything, even the seemingly good, can lead to imbalance and disharmony. On the flip side, we have modern society, a world that's constantly pushing us to want more, to be more, to consume more. We live in an era where growth is often seen as a linear, infinite trajectory, where the pursuit of material wealth, status, and power is the norm, and where overconsumption is a hallmark. The Tao encourages us to step back, to find satisfaction in simplicity, to foster a sense of humility. It asks us to live our lives with a sense of enough, to do our work, and then to step back, to let go. It's the art of knowing when you have enough, and then having the courage and wisdom to stop. Our modern society, however, pushes us in the opposite direction. It pushes us to step forward, to strive for more, to never be content with what we have. It's a world that feeds on our insecurities, our desires, our fears, and our egos. It's a world that often doesn't know when to stop. This constant push for growth and overconsumption, this insatiable appetite for more, is not without its consequences. It's a path that can lead to stress, burnout, dissatisfaction, and an overall sense of imbalance in our lives. It's a path that's often at odds with the Tao's teachings. In essence, where the Tao finds balance, our society often finds imbalance. It's a contrast that's worth reflecting upon, a contrast that invites us to reconsider our values, our desires, and our lifestyle choices. Where the Tao finds balance, our society often finds imbalance. How can we apply the wisdom of the Tao in our lives and embrace the concept of enough? It's a question that demands introspection and a willingness to shift our perspectives. To start, consider the work you do, whether it's a job, a hobby, or any activity that consumes your time and energy. The Tao teaches us to do our work, then step back. This doesn't mean abandoning our responsibilities or halting our progress. Instead, it's about recognizing when we've done what's necessary and then allowing ourselves to pause, to rest, and to reflect. This simple act of stepping back can break the cycle of constant striving, creating space for contentment and appreciation. Next, let's talk about humility. In a world that often equates self-worth with achievements and possessions, it's easy to lose sight of the intrinsic value we all possess. The Tao encourages us to view ourselves with humility, to understand that our worth is not tied to external markers of success. This is not a call to diminish ourselves, but rather an invitation to see our place in the larger tapestry of life, to recognize that we are part of something greater, and to find joy in our interconnectedness. Lastly, the Tao warns us of the dangers of overindulgence. It's not just about excessive consumption of food or material goods, but also the overindulgence in activities, thoughts, and emotions. Overindulgence leads to imbalance and can leave us feeling depleted, unsatisfied, and disconnected. By practicing moderation, we can cultivate a sense of balance and harmony in our lives. Embracing enough is a journey, not a destination. It's about making conscious choices, adjusting our mindset, and continually reassessing what brings us genuine fulfillment. It's about understanding that more is not always better, and that there's a profound beauty in simplicity and balance. So as we navigate our lives, let's remember the wisdom of the Tao. Let's do our work and then step back. Let's live with humility and avoid overindulgence. Living with enough is not about limiting ourselves, but about finding balance. Our final scene takes us to the 10th verse of the Tao Te Ching. In this verse, Lao Tzu underscores the value of simplicity, the avoidance of self-importance, and the practice of humility. These principles are not just philosophical musings, but a practical guide to a more balanced and natural way of living. Simplicity, as the Tao teaches, is not about lack or deprivation. It's about understanding what truly matters and letting go of the rest. It's about stripping away the unnecessary, the distractions, the clutter, and focusing on the essence of life. When we embrace simplicity, we create space for what truly enriches us, and we find that we need less to be fulfilled. Avoiding self-importance is another key principle. In our world, we are often conditioned to seek recognition, to strive for status, to need validation. The Tao teaches us that this pursuit only leads to imbalance and dissatisfaction. When we let go of self-importance, we align ourselves with a more natural state of being, one that values the intrinsic worth of every individual and every moment, independent of external validation. Governing with humility, the third principle, is a call to lead with empathy and respect. It's about understanding our place in the grand scheme of things, recognizing our interdependence, and making decisions that respect the balance of life. This principle is not just for leaders in the traditional sense, but for each of us in how we lead our lives and interact with others. These principles guide us towards a more natural and balanced way of living. They remind us that the pursuit of more often leads us astray, while the wisdom of enough brings us back to balance. The Tao, in its simplicity, offers profound wisdom. It teaches us to understand our place in the universe, to respect the balance of life, and to live with humility. It reminds us that the key to a fulfilling life is not in having more, but in recognizing and appreciating the enough that we already have. In the simplicity of the Tao, we find the complexity of enough.